upgrade and this much performance gain to the amount of time that you're buying. Okay, so is it worth $500 to buy 3 more months of obsolescence? Okay, your system will become obsolete. 3 months. You get 3 more months of usable lifespan of your computer system. Is it worth $500? Well, it depends. Some people have money to burn; they can afford it. And to me, most of the time, $500 is not worth it. Okay, it is needed to figure out whether I have enough money to retire. Well, that's a big question. Some people want to have the option to retire early on, even though they are not retiring. And most people need to think about, when I do retire, will I have enough money? Okay, can I, what kind of lifestyle will I have when I retire? Now, we have kind of like a mixed population in this class in terms of, ages here. And all I can say is, it is more important for the younger people, younger students in this class to start thinking about it, because you have decisions that you make today will have the most impact compared to the rest of us. Okay? So I'm not just nagging you because my dad instinct just kicked in, but it is true, okay? It is true because of exponential growth. Okay? Investment that you make today, assuming there's a certain percentage of increase, year after year, people who save money today and have 40 years, for that money to grow, will see more benefit than people who will retire in, say, 5 years, because you don't have as much time for the money to grow. Okay, so that it makes even more sense for younger people to start saving money, because the money that they save and invest today will grow and become bigger and bigger and have more of an impact over the longer period of time compared to someone like me who only has about 20-ish years left to for that money to grow. Okay? And it is not just for serious stuff. Well, I guess this is serious stuff too. Math is also needed to understand how much time you're shaving when you're going for a race. You're drag racing your car and you're thinking, well, should I go get a 300 horsepower car or a 400 horsepower car, for drag racing? Okay, how much time, in theory, at least, am I looking at in terms of reducing the quarter mile time? Now, people who do not understand physics or math will probably just say, well, maybe it's just proportional to the inverse of the horsepower, but it's not. It is not as good as the inverse of the horsepower. It is actually the square root of the inverse of the horsepower, which means. Sorry.
I don't know what that.
It means that if you have let's say the quarter mile time, everything else being the same. Okay, if the quarter mile time of a 300 horsepower engine on that particular vehicle, let's say if that is 6 seconds, okay, the same car but having a 400 horsepower engine is not going to have a quarter mile time of this. That is not true. It is actually doing that. Okay, so that's numbers too. Now, obviously, what I have missed here is how much does the car weigh? That is the biggest equation of everything when you're racing your car, especially in drag racing, okay, where handling is not an issue because it's all straight. So the question is, how much does your car weigh, and how much horsepower is coming out from the engine?
Doesn't it also require the parts quality too?
Yeah, definitely. But everything else being the same, in terms of just theoretical numbers. Because if the theoretical number is not working out, you don't even have to try, right? Well, I would go get a Miata, 2,200 pound, little car, take out the passenger seat, gut, the trunk and everything, take out the spare tire and whatnot, put a turbo on it. It will probably crank out, I would say about 200 horsepower or so, safely without having to change the internal parts of the engine. And people will look at 200 horsepower and go like, my Mustang cranks out 300 all day long. Yeah, but how much does your Mustang weigh? That's the other question, right? So math is important too. I mean, without understanding of math, people are just going after horsepower. If someone has a Hummer H2, okay, even 400 horses is nothing. That thing is not going anywhere anytime soon, even with 400 horsepower, because it weighs 6,000 plus pounds. Yesterday, I was watching two cars, two trucks, racing all the way up, through Eastern. One is a Ford Excursion. That's their biggest, the biggest, SUV made by Ford. I think it is approaching about 8,000 pounds or so. And the other one is a Dodge Ram 2500 HD, okay, which is about the same. And those two are basically the same type of beast. And they were racing, Eastern all the way up. And I can just hear, the slurping of the gas and the diesel. Like that, because whenever they press on the gas, the gas mileage probably goes all the way down to maybe 2 to 3 miles to a gallon, and then they have to stop. Then they go again, they have to stop. So at the end of the entire stretch of Eastern, they were maybe 6 car lengths ahead of me, and I was doing like 45 miles to a gallon the whole time. So once again, math is important because when they don't understand, they go to the they look at the gas station, go like, wow, how come my gas mileage is so bad? Well, there are reasons why your gas mileage is so bad. So anyway, the last part of my conclusion was I'm sure the article gets applause from credit card companies, lenders, casinos, and lotto operators, where they don't want you to understand the math, right? You guys, pass by the signs, and they say, oh, go to our casino because how do they, advertise casinos? Other than the food, I would go for the food.
They usually
the ratio, right?
but they also have like what prizes they have that week, the big jackpot prize.
The cards that you can earn back money from
Right.
certain games.
Yep. But in the end, you always lose money. If you go in knowing that you're going to lose money, you just want to have some fun, I can see that happening. I mean, that's fine. I mean, we go to watch, movies and whatnot, for entertainment. But if people think that they can make money out of, gambling or going to a casino, I don't think, it's going to work out for most people. Of the few people that will work out, they get kicked out of the casino. Yep.
I would say like on a regular basis if they try to do it, and then but every once in a while, I just see people up.
But gambling is actually very dangerous. It's a dangerous addiction because it is not chemical. Okay, it cannot be treated by chemistry or therapy. It is all psychological. Maybe I'll get lucky next time, right? So I think that's the danger of gambling. And understanding statistics will basically to say there's no way you're going to win.
Casinos are a business to make money. That's a business.
Exactly.
You lose.
And same applies to lotto too. Lotto is not a bad thing because the lotto money funds schools like this one. Okay. If people are thinking, oh, I might be lucky today, I just want to go buy 1 or 2 lotto tickets, and I'm buying like 1 or 2, every few weeks or so, it's not a problem. I mean, but understanding that I'm using my money to fund our schools. Okay, that should be the attitude. Okay. As in the process of funding our schools, I might be able to win something. Now that's okay, but trying to live off of lotto money and say maybe I'll hit the jackpot and I'm all done for the rest of my life, that is not going to work.
You have a better chance to get hit by lightning.
Is it about the same?
Yeah.
And getting hit by lightning is actually a pretty slim chance. I mean, very few people die from getting hit by lightning. I think even if someone wants to be hit by lightning, it's not that easy.
No.
It's not easy to become the lightning rod. Yep.
People are going to get into business and they want to predict the success of their product, based on research applications. They can predict the future of
Yeah.
what kind of profits they will receive. So almost like, look at math as like maybe the ability to fortune stuff. That'll turn a lot of people on. So, okay, yeah, I think I see that.
Well, not everything can be factored in, and that's why, we still have, people are still losing money in investments, but in the long run, the chances of making money or having growth, is a little bit better if you spend the money on, say, mutual funds and some sort of investment than spending the money in a casino. In fact, if you look at all the tickers, of S&P 500 or Dow Jones or some other stock market, pre-selected stock market, take a dart, throw it 20 times, and pick 20 stocks, and spend so much money to buy those stocks. The chances of you getting something out of it is still way better than putting that money into a casino.
You diversify. You put an IRA's mutual fund. You diversify your portfolio.
Yeah, but diversification. There's never any guarantee that you will get any return. It's only based on projection. So to some people, investment is also gambling because it can go up, it can go down. There's no guarantee of any kind.
Yeah, you gotta research.
It's just that historically speaking, the growth of a particular type or the average of all the stocks together, they have a particular pattern over the entire history of time or the entire history of the stock market. So assuming that trend will continue, then people can get a certain amount of return of the investment. Yep.
Yeah, those billionaires that jumped off the buildings when they lost all their money, they were gambling.
Yep. Well, some people borrow money to invest, quote unquote invest. And those are the people who jump off the buildings because not only are they losing the money that they own, but they are actually starting to owe money, and they're losing the money that they owe with no way to return that money. And that money, because it's borrowed, it also has an interest associated with it. So it just keeps rolling. It gets rolling bigger and bigger and bigger.
Now, if I could get everybody in here to give me their money to invest, I could make money investing.
That's right. That is right.
I ain't gonna guarantee you would, but I could.
Hedge fund. Yep. So I spent about half an hour to talk about the importance of math. I know some people do not like math, but the importance is there. I mean, it definitely is important, even in daily lives. I mean, it is very important in a daily life. I would think retirement planning is an important thing, and that takes math. That really takes math. Okay, so that's the last piece of email that I want to share with you guys, and now we return to our regular schedule. Okay, so we are pretty much all done with the benchmarking and designing your PC. So what I will do is today I will start because I won't have enough time to finish, but I will start an outline to start you guys thinking about this particular project. The overall theme of the project is you will specify a particular computer system for a particular application. Okay? I'm not going to restrict what you're going to use your PC for, so you guys pick whatever you want to use your PC for. But whatever you pick, you have to select the components as well as specify the system accordingly. Now you can say, I want a system that is as cheap as possible. That's fine, not a problem. Okay, you want a budget system? That's cool. On the other hand, you can say, well, I really don't have the money, but I want to see what I can do, if I had the money and put something together. Okay, that's fine with me too. But I don't want to see anyone, picking just the most expensive components and they're not compatible. I'm picking the most expensive AMD processor, but with a motherboard that only works with Intel processors. That is something that I do not want to see. I want to specify this hard drive that is intended for servers using, serial attached, SCSI, but my motherboard only supports serial ATA. Okay, so mismatches like that I do not want to see. Okay, the processor is capable of using 1600 megahertz memory, and I'm going to buy 3000 megahertz memory for the motherboard. That's a waste of money. I don't want to see that either, unless there's a justification, which says I'm planning to upgrade the processor in a year or so, and I know in about a year or so